We can see part 2 of Unity in Diversity. India has a rich cultural heritage. We are inheritors of several grand treasures in the fields of music, fine arts, dance, drama, theatre, and sculpture. Our sages and seers have left behind a tradition of piety, penance, spiritual greatness, conquest, passion, etc. Our scriptures are the storehouses of spiritual wisdom. Our saints aspired to the realization of the infinite. We have inherited great spiritual values, contrasted with which the materialistic progress of the West appears insignificant. India has rich cultural heritage. Heritage synonym word is legacy or inheritance. Here rich culture means great culture. It means India has great cultural heritage or inheritance or legacy. We are inheritors means heirs of several grand treasures in the field of music, fine arts. Here fine art means 66 arts. These are called in Telugu Lalita Kalalu and dance, drama, theatre and sculpture. We are heirs or inheritors to these aspects of music, fine arts, dance, drama, theatre, and sculpture. What is the meaning of sculpture? Art of making statues by carving stone. Art of making statues by carving stone. We Indians acquire these aspects of music, fine arts, dance, drama, theatre, and sculpture from our ancestors or spiritual leaders. Our sages and seers have left behind a tradition of piety, penance, spiritual greatness, conquest of passion, etc. Here, sages means wise people, seers means prophets, as well as piety means something deep respect to God. Penance means self punishment. Spiritual greatness, conquest means overcome. Of passion, etc. Passion means desire. Our sages and seers, they provided piety means devoteeness, penance, and conquest, how to overcome desires. Our scriptures are the storehouse of spiritual wisdom. Storehouse synonym word is storage. Here, what are our scriptures? Means Vedas, Ramayana, Gita, etc. All these books are storehouse of spiritual knowledge or wisdom. Our saints aspired to realization of infinite. Here, saints meaning is holy persons or synonym word is priests. Aspired meaning is hoped to achieve something. Realization meaning is understanding. Infinite synonym word is eternal or everlasting. Meaning is never ending. Our sages desired to know or understand eternity or heaven or transcendent God. We have inherited great spiritual values with which the materialistic progress of the West appears insignificant. We have inherited great spiritual values means we have become heirs to or we acquired great spiritual values. Great spiritual values contrasted. Contrasted means dissimilar or different, with which the materialistic progress of the West appears insignificant. Insignificant means unimportant or not important. When we compare Western materialistic progress to Indian spiritual or great spiritual values, I mean simply materialistic progress of Western is insignificant, means not important. What is materialistic progress? The materialistic progress of the West is scientific achievement maybe, or materialistic progress means financial achievement. The richness and scientific achievement is nothing when we compare these to the achievement of spiritual values. If we die as a rich man or scientist without knowing spiritual values or God is vain or no value. Let's see the next paragraph. The West has to learn a lot from India, and it has now been realized when people in the United States and Europe are turning to the Indian way of life. Indian yogis and maharshis, musicians and spiritual leaders have all attracted them in a big way. A significant move to project India's cultural unity has been the holding of festivals of India in various parts of the world. The West is fast inclining towards our spiritual values, which include meditation and contemplation, charity and love, universal brotherhood and fear of God, piety and unselfishness, control of passions and peace of mind. In this paragraph, the Western people or the Western countries, they have to learn something from India. As well as we can see the United States and Europe are turning to the Indian way of life. What is the Indian way of life here? The tradition and tasting food or else wearing clothes. The Western people or countries, they are just turning to the Indian way of clothing or way mode of dress and eating food or else. Indian yogis and maharshis, musicians and spiritual leaders have all attracted them in a big way. Here, them means the Western countries or people. So, I mean simply, Western people are being attracted by Indian yogis and maharshis or musicians or spiritual leaders. Simply, Indian yogis and maharshis are attracting the foreign country people or Western people. A significant move to project India's cultural unity has been the holding of festivals of India in various parts of the world. Here, project means a show. Project, another meaning is promote. India's cultural unity is being projected or shown or showed in the form of the festivals or by celebrating festivals in the different kinds of the places of the world. Nowadays, NRI people are celebrating Indian festivals in foreign countries. The West is fast inclining, means desiring, inclining towards our spiritual values, which include meditation and contemplation, means act of thinking deeply. Contemplation meaning is act of thinking deeply. Charity and love and universal brotherhood and fear of God, piety and unselfishness, control of passions and peace of mind. Simply, the Western people or countries inclining or desiring wish to follow the Indian spiritual values such are charity, love, universal brotherhood and fear of God, piety, unselfishness and contemplation, control of passions and peace. Next, let us see the next paragraph. Our cultural unity is further exemplified by the temples of the south and Khajuraho, the caves of Ajanta and Ellora, which are shining examples of India's proficiency in sculpture and architecture. Our music has come to enjoy worldwide popularity. Our cultural unity is further synonym is beyond or more or additionally. Exemplified means showed by the temples of the south and Khajuraho, the caves of Ajanta and Ellora. Additionally, cultural unity of India is showed by the temples of south and Khajuraho and the caves of Ajanta and Ellora, which are shining, which refers here historical monuments of Khajuraho, the caves of Ajanta and Ellora. These historical monuments are shining examples of India's proficiency, means talent or ability, in sculpture and architecture. Architecture means the art and science of designing and managing construction of buildings. So when we see these historical monuments of Khajuraho, caves of Ajanta and Ellora, the India's talent and ability is reflecting in the fields of sculpture and architecture. In these historical monuments, India's cultural unity is reflecting. Our music has come to enjoy worldwide popularity. I mean, simply, all the worldly people are enjoying our Indian music. We know very well how Bahubali's song and as well as RR song is famous and how foreigners are enjoyed. Let us see the next paragraph. Indian classical music, like the Indian dances, is built on the concept of ragas and talas. Each raga is regarded appropriate to certain time of the day or the night. There are believed to be about 250 ragas in common use in the north as well as in the south. In the modern times, people like Ravi Shankar have taken Indian music to the West and thus bridged the gap between the music of East and the West. Indian classical music. Classical means traditional, like the Indian dances, is built on the concept of ragas and talas. Actually, Indian traditional music and dance, these are built on the concept of ragas and talas. Each raga is regarded appropriate to certain time of the day or the night. Appropriate means proper or suitable. The sentence meaning is each raga must be sung at daytime or night time. I mean simply, if we sing one raga at night time, another raga must be sung at daytime. There are believed to be about 250 ragas in common use in North as well as in the South. North Indians and South Indians, they believe there are 250 ragas in music of India. In the modern times, people like Ravi Shankar have taken Indian music to the West and thus bridged gap between the music of East and the West. Bridged means filled the gap or connected. In the modern times, Ravi Shankar has taken Indian music and filled the gap between the Western music and Indian music. Next, let us see another paragraph. Other significant features of India's cultural unity are the variety of color and the emotional richness of its dances. The country abounds in tribal dances, old dances, as well as the classical dances of great virtuosity. Throughout India, dance is regarded not merely as an accomplishment to social intercourse, but also as a mode of aesthetic expression and spiritual realization. Other significant features of India's cultural unity are the variety, color, and the emotional richness of its dances. Significant means important. Features means aspects or qualities. It means India's cultural unity has different kinds of important aspects such as color and the emotional richness and dances. The country abounds. Abounds meaning is have plenty. The country has many or heavy tribal dances, old dances as well as classical dances. What kind of dances are these? These are all really classical dances of great virtuosity. Virtuosity meaning is a skill or talent. Country has many dances which are talented or virtuous. Throughout India means whole India or from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Dance is regarded not merely means only as an accompaniment to social intercourse. Regarded meaning is considered. Accompaniment means supplement or companion. Intercourse means interact or relation. Its meaning is throughout India, dance is not only supplement or companion to the social intercourse but also as a mode of aesthetic. Aesthetic means artistic or art of judging beauty. Throughout India, dance is not only accompaniment or supplement to the social intercourse but also it is beautiful expression and spiritual realization. Let us see the next paragraph. The great symbol of dance is Shiva, the cosmic dancer, depicted in sculpture and poetry as Nataraja. Similarly, the classical theatre in India has a history of more than 2000 years. It was performed in palaces and in temples. The classical plays combined music and dance. Tragedy was and is still discouraged otherwise. The range of themes covered is wide. In this paragraph, we can see Shiva is great symbol of dance and is a cosmic dancer. Cosmic means universal. He is universal dancer depicted in sculpture and poetry as Nataraja. Shiva's picture is depicted in sculpture and poetry as Nataraja. Depicted means picturized. Similarly, the classical theatre in India has a history of more than 2000 years. In India, for theatre, there is a history of 2000 years. It was performed in places and in temples. The dance in India in different kinds of the places that was performed. I mean, the dance is or was performed in palaces or king's palaces and in temples. The classical plays combine music and dance. I mean, simply in the classical plays, maybe dramas, maybe, but music and dance was combined with them. Tragedy was and is still discouraged otherwise. In the olden days, plays or skits, there was tragedy, but now it is not. In the nowadays skits or plays, if there is really tragedy, the range of the themes covered is wide. Let us see the last paragraph. It is this strand of cultural unity running through the country that we are heir to and to which people in the West are increasingly turning now. It is up to the younger generation to uphold this torch of cultural unity for the rest of the world to see, follow, and emulate, and not get dazed by the superficial prosperity and material achievement of the West, where man has set foot on the moon in his quest for space travel, but finds himself isolated in his own society and community. Let us see the line-wise analysis. It is this strand of cultural unity running through the country that we are heir to. I mean, simply, strand means a single thread. Strand of cultural unity means a cultural unity which is or was spread in India. For that cultural unity, we are heir to. Heir means hereditors. As we are legacy to the cultural unity that will be continued or spread with us, and to which people in the West are increasingly turning now. Western people are turning to the Indian culture. Here, strand of cultural unity metaphor, torch of cultural unity metaphor. It is up to the younger generation to uphold this torch of cultural unity for the rest of the world to see, follow, and emulate. Emulate means copy or imitate. What is the responsibility of young people of India? Younger people, they have to uphold the torch of cultural unity. I mean, they have to promote the cultural unity of India to other nations or to other countries of the world, that they should follow or emulate and not get dazed by the superficial prosperity and material achievement of the West. Dazed means astonished or surprised. The young people of India, that they should not attracted to the Western achievements or Western material properties. The real property is cultural unity and spiritual richness. The biggest achievement of Western country is where man has set foot on the moon in his quest for space travel. It means set foot means enter. Quest means mission or search. First, from the Western countries, man landed on the moon, but he was being separated from the society and the unity. He was being isolated from the society. Finally, human finds himself that he was isolated from the society and community.